Ready? All right, good evening. It's 7 o'clock. I'd like to call the public portion of the, I think I have an echo.
Yeah, 1 second. I don't know if he can get it. Try it again? No,
Okay.
it's still there.
Still a little bit.
Yeah. Try it now? No, still hearing it.
No?
Testing, testing.
Testing 1, 2.
Try that.
All right, good evening. It's, well, now it's 7:02. I'd like to call the public portion of the meeting back to order. And we're going to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Recording in progress.
All right, first order of business, anybody have a motion in regards to the non-public portion of the meeting?
Motion to seal the non-public minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
I'd like to offer a friendly amendment, except for what needs to be presented to the bookkeeper for compensation purposes.
That is going to be in there.
Accept that, okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And that's unanimous. So next one is the reorganization of the Board of Selectmen, starting with chair and vice chair. We'll try this again. Does anybody have a motion for
I'll
chair?
make a motion that we appoint Matt Burrell, Chairman of the Board of Selectmen.
All right, thank
I'll
you.
second.
Okay, any discussion? Thank you, Charlie. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oppose.
Okay, so that was 3 in favor, 1 opposed, to get that straight. Anybody have a motion for vice chair?
Nominate Adjourn for vice chair.
Okay, is there a second on that one? Okay, I'll second that one. Any discussion? All right, all in favor? Aye.
Oppose.
Okay, so that was 3 in favor, 1 opposed. All right, so here we go. I just, I'll say this, it's a new year, right? For the Board of Selectmen, the new year isn't January 1st. The new year is after the election. So as my father used to be fond of saying, he used to say, today is the first day of the rest of your life. So we have an opportunity to start fresh. I hope we'll all seize that opportunity. So the rest of the reorganization of the Board of Selectmen, we have 2 distinct things. I always like to make sure we're clear on what's what. So ex officios are voting roles on boards and commissions that we get. It's basically through statutes. The other one is liaisons, which is something we invented for departments. We, as the board, invented. So I want to make sure we keep those separate. As far as the ex officios go, and I think there are, Diane will correct me if I'm wrong, there are 4 in total.
I think there's only one ex officio.
Well, no, there's rec has an ex officio, conservation has an ex officio,
Those are liaisons.
planning, no, those are ex officios because
Okay.
they're voting rules. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think
sorry.
there's 4 in total. The most immediate concerns, though, is Conservation, we've had Selectman Michaels is no longer on the board, so she's left. And the planning board currently has a vacancy. So I would like to move to, or well, let me do it this way. Anybody on the board have any thoughts on conservation and/or planning board vacancies?
For planning board, I'd like to move Mr. Marchand to be the ex officio, if you'd like to the planning board.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Charlie. Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Bob, consider that your directive. So,
Thank you, gentlemen.
so the other one is conservation, and anybody have any interest in the conservation role? Ex officio, that is. You get to work with Trish, right? So, I mean, if that's,
That is awesome.
all right, so let me put it out there like this. You guys meet once a month, right?
Yes.
Is that correct? Once a month. Next meeting is, do you know, top of your head?
The next meeting is the first, we meet on the second Wednesday of every month, so whatever that date is.
Second Wednesday of every month. So this is, we had a little while here. So I would like to put it out there for people to think about. And we did find out last year, I think, that we actually have the ability where we could appoint someone as our ex officio who's not on the board, right? I didn't dream that, right? I got that correct? So it's something we might think about. So let's think about that one. But as far as the other ex officios go, I'm good with leaving them as currently constituted if the rest of the board is.
For ex officios, yes.
You're going to need somebody for the transfer station and the fire department.
Right, those are
Those are
liaisons. So the ex officios, though, before we leave that
Okay.
topic, we're good with
Trish?
that?
Yeah,
Mr. Chair, I was just gonna say, if it helps anyone in deciding if you can stand working with us, we have the option of doing it remote if you don't wanna come.
Oh,
But we do meet in person
thank you.
and remote, we'll do it as a hybrid.
So let's all, think about that. Trish is a good resource to reach out to find out what it's all about.
I mean, if
no
there's a
one-
hybrid option, as much as I mean, I love meeting with you, you're like the best person in this town. If there's a hybrid option, I'll do it.
So maybe my friend Bob here will make a motion
I
since
make a motion that
Wally's.
Edvin fill that role on the conservation for ex officiato.
Okay. Is there a second? All right, I'm going to second. And discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, so I think 3 ayes, 1 opposed. So, good. Okay, so leaving ex officios, we now have liaisons to talk about. Diane, I don't suppose at your fingertips you have that definition that we had from last year? Am I putting you on the spot?
Yeah, hold on,
Won't be the last time tonight.
no.
So anyway, so the liaisons, and we'll have the definition that we voted on last year, but we have, looks like we have 7 there, and it sounds like, Charlie, you're looking to vacate your 2
Yeah.
liaisons.
I'm too much collateral damage for the fire chief, so I can't take care of that one.
Okay, and you said transfer station as well, you?
He doesn't listen to me anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm not going to bother with him.
Okay. So I had heard, Edvin, you expressed an interest in the fire department as liaison. Is that the
Yes, I did.
case?
Be the public safety liaison. Made myself a new title.
Well, public, so you'd have both police and fire?
Yes.
So,
Matt, I have it.
You have it?
Oh, I have it here, sorry.
cool. Diane, if you don't mind just reading that?
Oh.
Or if Nancy can pass it to me, I can read it.
You want it? No, he wanted it to read it.
Okay.
Oh, that's good, that you have it in paper.
Thank you. In the yellow, is it?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
now Evan has to step down as a fireman, because you can't have that paid job too.
Okay, hold on. Just before we go there, let me read the definition. So we adopted this last year, right? The Selectmen's liaison role is being created to improve efficiency and communication between the board and department heads and avoid micromanagement situations. This is not intended to create a new reporting structure or an additional department head. Communication should continue between all other board members and the department as necessary. Approval of prudential affairs remain per published board policy, and the voting rights of the board in a quorum, seconded by, at the time, was seconded by Selectman Chronolic with a unanimous vote. So that's the definition of what we're talking about. Charlie just expressed a concern about what, Charlie, being employed within the department and being a selectman and liaison to the department?
Yep.
Okay, what's your, do you want to go into more detail on that? Because I don't think we have a policy.
Didn't let Larry do it
What do you mean let? Was there a vote on that?
last time around.
Yeah.
He
I mean,
couldn't do it because he was in the fire department.
yeah, I don't think we have a policy. Either way, you know, I'll let the board decide.
Do whatever you want.
Okay.
You're gonna anyway.
Well, I see there could be a conflict of interest
Yeah,
there.
that's a legitimate concern. I'm just trying to say we don't specifically have a policy. Conflict might definitely be a concern. What are your thoughts, Edvin?
I mean, again, the liaison is just to create better communication. The chief still, we went over this last year when I got elected. I can hold that position. There's no conflict of interest. Chief still reports to the whole board, still reports to Nancy, who's the town administrator. So it's just a communication key to assist our town department heads.
Yeah, I think there's value sometimes to having an independent, perspective, but I keep going back to it, we have no policy that says you can't do that. And it's not
I mean,
giving anybody a promotion
with
or,
all due respect to the rest of the board, being the only one who works in public safety, I feel like the person who knows public safety should be the liaison for public safety. But
okay, so we don't have a motion yet. Did anybody want to make a motion to that effect? So we're looking to appoint a liaison for the fire department from the Board of Selectmen.
I'll make a motion with the exception that nothing be done like what's written there without the consent of the entire board being presented to either department head, fire or police. And that's what the liaison's supposed to do, is just keep the communication open so that there is a good understanding of that.
So who are
So-
you nominating?
Who are you recommending?
Yeah,
I'm recommending Edmund,
okay. As a liaison to the police and the
and
fire?
fire department, right.
Okay, anybody want to second that?
can I second it?
Yeah.
Oh, second by me.
Was it, who seconded?
Seconded by Edvin?
A little
Okay.
selfish, but
No, that's, all right. All right, any further discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, so that's 3 and 1. I would put it out there, kind of Bob did it in his motion, if something doesn't work, let's talk about it, let's fix it, That's the way I'd like to see it. So, it sounds like, to the transfer station, you're vacating the transfer station liaison?
Oh, yeah.
Charlie?
Yep.
Okay. Anybody have any?
motion
Just
to
in
make to nominate Mr. Marchand as the liaison for the transfer station?
I'll second that. Do you want it?
The transfer station? Sure.
Okay. All right, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
So it's 3 and 1. Okay, so the other, I'll just run them down. We can sort of say, do we want to add somebody, or do we want to change something, or we want to keep it the way it is? So the first one was building and code enforcement, which I believe is Larry.
Would you like to take building and code enforcement?
Nope.
Okay. Would you like to take building and code enforcement?
Well, remember that the selectman foot is still a selectman.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
but we would need a temporary liaison in case there's an issue.
I think for now, we should just leave it be.
All right.
Okay, that's fair enough. Bee conservation, we've talked about. Fire department, we've talked about. Highway is still me. I don't have a problem with that if everybody,
I'm sorry, Mike.
yeah. He's heard that one before. Police is Edvin still. Any concerns? No, we'll stick with that. Recreation is actually an ex officio. We just talked about that. And transfer station, we just appointed Bob. So that's
Yeah.
leaving the ex officios and liaisons for the reorganization of the board. So before we leave the topic, anything else?
I have one question.
Sure.
Bob, you're an alternate to the planning board. Now that you're the liaison, or the ex officio, are you going to step down as alternate? Because you can't do
Well, I was
both.
only a one-year alternate for
Oh,
the
I-
planning board.
Oh, really? I had you down till 24.
No, I filled in for Mrs. White. I
Okay.
believe she only had 1 year left.
Okay, all right.
Because I lost the election, and what happened was Mrs. White stepped up to fill that opening that
Yep.
was there, and then I took her
Okay. all right.
position as the alternate.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right. Okay, thank you. Going to C is the ARPA update. And Trish, I think you have that one for us.
So, because I didn't get to do this last week when we talked,
Yeah, you better lower, you gotta lower it down,
okay.
lower it down.
I'm not supposed to touch this, okay. Sorry about that. So, the ARPA update, I have to disclose, I have to be very transparent with our ARPA funds. So you need to know what was on that manifest that you approved last week. So $87.38 was for ARPA notebooks that I got at Staples. I actually paid for them, so I asked for reimbursement for the ARPA committee. And in case you forgot, that's Joe Simone, Charlie Melvin, Jack Kozak, Chief Jewett, Chief Alcadino, and Pete Gagnon, and me. So I had to put together all the notebooks, get the tabs, so that we could have our weekly meetings that we're having. So is there any questions either from the public, TV land, or anyone? Does that make sense? Okay. We had $65.85 that, oh my goodness, I forget what that was for. ARPA, I can't read my own writing. I'd have to look at that invoice. And $2,845.89, which is from trauma services. And the other ones, after we have public meetings, that they come in and they sanitize, they do a deep clean if it's necessary. And what this was for, which unfortunately, we didn't get this bill until, well, last week when you guys had your meeting, but it's from December 30th of 2021. And it was when we, if you remember, we closed Town Hall for like 10 days, Christmas through, just before Christmas, through the new year, because we had an outbreak of COVID within Town Hall. So it was best to, while the Town Hall was closed, we brought them in to do the cleaning. Why it took them 3 months to send us a bill, I have no idea, but that was one of your invoices that you had. Any questions on that one? There's, yes.
That's $65.85 was towards supplies for the March 13th vaccine clinic.
Oh, okay, yes. So we have another vaccine clinic. So anytime we have a clinic, these ARPA funds, again, there's no tax impact to the residents. This comes out of that grant that we got for $515,000 and X amount. We got half of it already, like $257,000 we got in June. So anything that we talk about for ARPA, whether it's what you need, what the departments need, what buildings need, infrastructure, if Mike needed something, anything that we can come up with, we have to go through this questionnaire and make sure that it qualifies. And if it does, it can come out of this grant and not cost our town or our taxpayers any money. So thank you for that. And there's also, in my little report, we also had a vaccine clinic. That's probably our last one, because as you can see from the news, they're kind of closing down things and trying to get people to go to CVS and Rite Aid and everywhere else. So unless the state calls us again and says, can you do another one, we probably won't do another one. And that's about it. We're having ARPA meetings right now. We're having them weekly. They won't have to be weekly eventually. The committee we've had some great conversations. Everyone's taking a lead on something in particular. And the reason for that is April 30th, we have to do a report to the U.S. Treasury with ideas that we have, not that we have to say what we've spent, but also what we have, maybe what's our wish list? What do we hope to do? So we'll be having meetings fairly regularly, these 7 people, until we can come up with the criteria that I have to do for the report. Were you going to say something, Charlie?
No, you're going right along good.
Okay. Any questions? TV land? Hello? Okay.
Do you want to, Trish, before you go, did you want to ask her about those horns and?
Yeah, I'm kind of skipping ahead in the agenda,
Oh,
but we're going to be talking in a few about a requisition for the fire station, which I think is because of what I was told on the way in here.
Okay.
It was the building department said in order for us to use it as a voting site,
yep,
it has to have additional fire horns and strobes.
okay.
And what I'm thinking is, the whole reason we use it as a voting site, or at least how it started, was because of COVID.
Yes.
Could we, rather than approving that requisition tonight, could we give you the paperwork and see if we could get it covered under ARPA?
And part of the reason, yes, is that we're doing this for the public. It's a public service, it's a community service, to have them to come in to vote, or anything else we decide to do there. So because they're approving equipment, there's a lot of things probably we should be talking about to try to spend this money. Remember, wouldn't I love to spend $515,000? If we don't spend it, as Charlie knows, have it earmarked by 2024,
Right.
spent by 2026. We have to give
We lose it.
back whatever we don't spend. So anything like this that you have questions on, like Diane said, if you send me the stuff, we've got the committee that'll take the lead to call and see we've got numbers and emails. This very well may be approved,
Okay, great.
okay?
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you. All right, so that's it for ARPA. All right, so we had letter D, which is permission to use town roads for a ride to end Alzheimer's. And I don't think we have anybody here to talk about it, right? We're just looking for the official approval.
My only concern, because I read the 100-mile one of the paths they're going down, and we're going to discuss this next week, is Gale Village Road and Curryville Road on bicycles.
I don't think they're really going down those roads. I think they're more or less.
Because it goes, so if I'm reading it
Maple
right,
Vale.
it goes Amesbury Road, then they're taking a right onto Maple Ave, Chase, and then it says Gale Village Road, Curryville Road.
Chase goes into Southampton, and that's usually the way they go. They don't
Okay.
go on,
It's on the time they go right up through Southampton.
right.
Okay, okay.
Because
As
Curryville's-
long as it's gonna be a busy day. No, we don't. No, next week.
Ask your daughter, it's on Facebook.
Motion.
Place I don't go.
I know.
Motion to give permission to the ride to Alzheimer's
Is that for both the 100 and the 60?
for the 64 and the 100, yes.
Okay.
The whole thing.
So, what-
Second for discussion, I guess.
Joe? So we did have a second for discussion,
Yes,
right?
by Charlie.
Joe Simone, question I have is who's going to pay for the police details to make sure these people don't get injured? Because I've seen them ride and they own the road and it's just not right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know from past experience with 5Ks, they hire their own police details, but I don't know exactly for this one, but that's a good thing to put in the minutes to, yeah. It's, if you wanted to add it
Does
to
it
your
say, Diane,
motion.
do they pay for their own police details?
Yeah.
We need to look into that.
So I don't know if I'd put it in the motion, but put it as a note to ensure that they're, well, let's worry about the motion right now, but I have an idea for the rest of it. Any other discussion on the motion on the floor? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that's signed, and then I would recommend when you respond to them.
In
Go
their
ahead.
application, they do have an application for traffic control to be provided by state certified flaggers and local police along the route as needed. So they are already planning for police details and flaggers, hopefully more police details, on the route.
So can I add something to that? Just to ask Chief Jewett to kind of get back to us, not tomorrow or anything, but to get his assessment of if they order enough, right? Because I think what Joe might be worried about is if they order the minimum to save money when they really should have more than that, right?
He's right when it comes to the transfer station. That's a pretty big route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. All right, moving right along. E is permission to use Greenie Park fields. We have,
I'd like to say something on that.
Sure.
I got a call from a resident this evening, this afternoon, and he told me that they did it last year, and they didn't clean up their messes. So I'm all for them using the fields, but I do believe that they should pay for the porta potty down there because they're gonna be using it all summer long, that they should pay for the porta potty down there, and as well as they should guarantee us that they're gonna clean up the messes afterwards and put the stuff in the dumpsters, because the residents had to pick it all up last year, and there's no need of that. We're being nice enough letting them use our field.
is that, so Joe, do you have something to add?
Yeah. I'm all for our facilities being used and shared by the community. However, I've seen some of the aftermath of these, what happens to the infrastructure, let's put it that way. The fields get dug up and they get holes and stuff
Can you
like
speak
that.
up? We can't hear you at all.
You're at Trish height right now, you need to go to Joe height. Yeah.
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, a little bit. Go ahead.
No, I just seen the aftermath on some of these things, what happens to the fields, and they just leave divots, holes, and after a while, the field goes to crap. And I don't know who takes care of maintaining all that, and so I don't want the town to do it because it's a cost for us, although I still want to be a good steward and help them out.
Which is a good point. We don't have a custodian who goes down and cleans that
Yeah,
park.
not currently.
So I don't know what we're gonna do about that.
Yeah, I think Charlie, makes a good point from the resident that they have to be responsible for, cleaning up whatever impact they have. So we have to make that clear to them that we don't have a custodian currently, so we're essentially working without a net, right? So they have to know that, I think, going into it.
I have another question. Is this the high school, or is it a town team or a rec team, or?
This is like the Little League. The Sanborn one is like the Little League.
So there's two different ones that we got in
No,
application.
Newton
Right,
is,
but the Sanborn is.
Yeah,
the-
Sanborn Baseball and Softball Little Organization.
Yeah, right.
And the other one is
New England?
Show New England.
Okay, Show New England is probably a for-profit thing.
Yep.
Where they bring people in and the kids try out and everything. I know, I've been through that stuff and it's quite intense. And it does leave a lot of mess, believe me. So if you folks agree to this, something should be written in that these people are responsible for picking up after themselves. And if after a couple things it doesn't happen, then it gets revoked. Are they paying us for this use of this?
I just see an application. I'm not sure. Are they paying? At least Show New England, are they
If it's
paying?
if it is a for-profit thing like Show New England, then the town should be paid, compensated for the use of our facilities.
I don't see why we can't put that in when we send them the letter and give them permission to do it.
Yeah, I think
Put a paragraph in there that they're responsible for the cleanup and proper maintenance and care of that field. And if at such point that we deem it that they're not being responsible with it, that we have the privilege to revoke their privileges.
There is somebody on Zoom, and it's up to you if you want to allow them. We have not previously unless they were scheduled, but there is somebody that does have their hand up.
Is the board okay?
Yeah, yeah, as long as it's public comment about
Okay,
this.
go ahead.
Hey, it's Diane Gloss Newton. Just curious, is this a new product or a new problem, or has this been going on for as many years as we've been playing at Greenie Park? Because we make those kids clean up, and who fixed the field? Sanborn Baseball and Softball Association did. So they do it all the time. I'm just not sure why is this a new issue.
So, so Charlie, you said you spoke to a resident about this?
Yep, and he was involved in it last year. His kids aren't involved in it anymore. And he said that he had to clean up afterwards, and he feels as though that the kids are going and taking the leaks in the woods. They should have a porta potty down there.
So Diane, this is something that Charlie heard from a resident. So we
Are
don't.
we specifically talking about people going to the bathroom in the woods?
Sounds like it.
I mean, that's boys, right? I'm just trying to figure out what the issue is, because this is an ongoing, Newton always uses the baseball field, right? I mean, Sanborn uses the baseball field, that's what they do. So, okay, that's all I had to say, thank you.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, I mean, we need to keep a tabs on it, right? You know, my firsthand experience has been that they take care of the field more than we do, other than we hire the landscaper. But definitely, if this resident has a concern, we need to keep an eye on it. So, do we have the form?
It's just, yeah,
It's
the
on.
town
It's the
form.
one online here. I just want to
It's in
read
your-
what the permit.
It's in your green
specifies.
folder.
Permit to use town park field.
Right, but I'm
recreation.
just wondering, in terms of what Bob's talking about, go ahead, Joe, by the way.
Not to confuse the issue, but I think the Little League Association, they take pretty good they take pretty good care of that, because I know that the parents and everything get involved in that. It's the other organizations that come in and they just run rampant over it because they feel that they're using the field and they feel they can. But if we don't have restroom facilities there and sanitary facilities there, it definitely is a problem, and I think these people should pay. If they're going to use it, they should be able to foot the bill. But the Little League Association, they maintain those fields pretty good for the kids.
When, I'm looking for right now, when does the season start? April?
This one says 4/1 to 6:30 from Show New England.
Okay.
And the other one says April 2022 to December 2022.
Yeah, I would be in favor of signing these permits, but I do think we need the stipulation that if we get this feedback, if we see this firsthand, then we might need to change our approach.
We just have to make sure this is two different organizations. Actually.
Right.
So, and I believe Diane. I know Diane's very on the ball, and I know, they do keep it clean from what I've seen. But this other organization, I have no clue who they are. So, that's a great question. In the application, it just says 4/1 to 6:30.
Usually the tournaments are on weekends.
Yeah.
It's usually a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Joe, nobody's going to hear you, and I won't know it when you come
Joe
up.
said it's usually on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. I didn't want you to walk up.
And if it's been like some of the tournaments that I've been to way back when, and it's probably still the same, it's usually a Friday, Saturday, Sunday type thing, where people come in from out of state, out of town. So then again, we're probably talking a parking issue. We might be talking a safety issue on that road. It's not the easiest road to drive on. So that could be an issue also. So I just don't want the town being opened up to a lot of liability.
Thank you. All right, does anybody want to start with a motion? Nancy? Do you have
Just
something?
for information, we do put the porta potties down there. Usually it's one regular one and one handicap one, and I believe it's maybe sometime in May, because I know baseball's usually down there cleaning up and stuff. So those porta potties will be there.
Yeah, it's under the rec budget, I believe. Yeah.
No, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Anybody want to make a motion? And let's do them both separately,
Yes.
because they are two separate entities. Anyone?
Motion to approve the application for Sanborn baseball and softball for the use of Greenie Park.
Anybody want a second?
Second.
Seconded by Bob. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Because this is my neighbor, I have to abstain, just so there's no conflict of interest. Right? My neighbor, I don't want to,
Doesn't,
He's
no
not a
biggie.
relative.
oh, okay, then aye.
We're all neighbors in a sense, right?
You're really trying to sell those signs, huh?
Exactly. Newton is neighborly.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the show New England, anybody want to make a motion? I'm assuming somebody wants to make this one a
I'll
little
make
different.
that motion.
Yep.
I'll make a motion that Shared New England be allowed to use the fields as long as they pay for the parties down there and that they clean up.
Okay, anybody want to
I'll second that.
Seconded by Bob. Any discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
So when you say, are they paying for the whole season?
For the
I mean,
time
how
that
you
they
going-
use, for the time that they use it,
So Nancy, you have to divide it up,
4 to 6.
is what you're,
I mean,
what you're saying, right?
I think, Charlie, probably the easiest thing to do is for the whole season.
I agree with the
You
whole
know what I
season,
mean?
but
Yeah.
he did say 4 to 6 that they were going to use it, but
Yeah,
I think we should get some sort of a plus out of it.
yeah, yeah. I think that's fair, just to,
So they'll pay for the porta potties for the whole season?
they'll reimburse us, I guess.
I'm sorry, what?
Reimburse us?
And there should, and friendly amendment, if you don't mind, there should be some kind of fee for using our field since they're
Yeah,
a
well,
for-profit. I mean, I'm looking at their website, they're a for-profit organization.
Well, I call it kids, so
Yeah.
I don't care.
yeah, the only thing about the fee-driven stuff is we've never had, so
Okay,
we'd
yeah.
be starting from scratch.
Okay.
But I think it's fair to say porta potty and
Porta
cleanup.
potty, yeah, all right.
Bob seconded that. Anything, Joe, under discussion?
Once again, I'm just going back as to how some of these tournaments work. They bring teams in, there's probably a round robin, 10 or 12 teams. So you got teams coming in all day long, people waiting. You're gonna have to pump out those porta potties twice a day, if not 3 times a day, because they will make a mess. And the other thing too is maybe it would be best to inquire as to where else they are, where they've been denied, as to what the reasons are before we jump into this. We should also establish some type of a fee for rental fee for if we're doing something like that.
What about police detail?
You'd need that
Yeah,
because the
right, right.
parents get a little rowdy sometimes.
Since,
It could be a whole can of worms that we're opening up here. We might.
oh, it is.
I mean,
We've
my
done
personal
that.
opinion, I'm all for the kids and stuff
Yeah.
like that, but I know it's for profit. It's for these kids showcasing themselves to high schools and colleges. And they're making money off of the kids, and
Can I, thank you, Joe. Can I have Diane speak since she seems knowledgeable? Sorry, not you,
Hey,
Diane.
just one other thing is that the show use of the field was specifically for a clinic, right?
It says for the whole
Why-
season.
season, Diane.
Yeah, it doesn't
Okay, on the-
specify.
Yeah, on the agenda, it looked like it said just for a clinic that they wanted to hold.
So on their permit application, it says baseball
Right.
games.
Okay. All right. And then isn't Sanborn like replacing Newton because we don't have enough people to play? So
They-
the kids are part of the
joined.
Sanborn Little League now because Newton Little League is too, we don't have enough.
Yeah, they combined with Kingston.
Right, right. So I don't think it's really like any different than it's ever been any other year. They have games every night of the week and the weekends, right? And I'm just not sure how you're going to bust up the cost of that porta potty. So
Well, it would
that'll
be for
on you
Show New
guys.
England, not Sanborn.
Right.
Not that they can't use it,
Okay.
but I know there's a motion on the table, but what I would suggest to the board is, and I know this doesn't jive with their proposed date of 4/1, but I think we need Show New England to come to a meeting on 4/5 and answer all these questions for us before we approve it. That's just my thought, but we do have a motion on the table, so. If there's,
Matt, I'll rescind my motion.
you gonna rescind it?
Yep.
Okay.
once again, not to be redundant, but with all the fields around in the surrounding communities and everything, why are they coming to Newton?
Yeah, and
They're all
Where have they
packed,
been
Joe.
denied?
Joe, they're all packed. Every one of them, wherever you go.
So if the board's all right with it, Diane, if you could contact them and ask them to send a representative to our next meeting to discuss further before we approve, because we have some questions and concerns.
Could they come via Zoom if you want, if they wanted to?
I think so, yeah. If everybody's cool with that.
Yeah.
Charlie, you fine if they're on Zoom?
Don't matter to me.
Yeah, it
So,
don't matter to me, as
in-
long as they're gonna answer our questions.
And like we said, that's just for show New England. Sanborn is approved. Okay,
Normal, yep.
yep. All right, are we good to leave that topic?
So Charlie's motion is gone?
He rescinded.
He resigned it,
Okay.
rescinded it, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so F was the fire station requisition that Trish is going to help us research a little bit, so I'm going to skip that. We did have a letter of resignation for the deputy treasurer. I can read if I can pull it up here. Dated March 9th. To whom it may concern, it was a pleasure to have served the town of Newton as deputy treasurer over the last 6 months. As I stated at the appointment, I was willing to help on a temporary basis. With that said, effective March 17, 2022, I'm going to be resigning my position. I would like to thank everyone for their help and support. I wish you all the best. Bill Harding.
I
Yeah.
move that letter be accepted and that a letter be sent back to him, thanking him for all his diligence and hard work and helping the town to get everything squared away and put back in place.
Second.
Seconded by Charlie. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. I would also kind of officially or unofficially put out the word to the residents. If somebody's interested in being a deputy treasurer, it's a good position to kind of get your feet wet and learn the ropes in case we need a treasurer down the road. So, Diane, what's your home number? Can we give them your home number? So they should contact the Board of Selectmen secretary if somebody's interested, or the treasurer for that matter.
Yeah, I've worn that hat too.
All right, and then I think
We have a couple of things under other.
other business.
Yeah. The MS 232 needs to be signed. That is your appropriations that was voted at the March 8th election.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So does anybody want to make the motion to sign that?
Motion to sign the MS
232.
232.
Second.
Seconded by Bob. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's unanimous.
What else you got?
Did you have something else?
Yes.
Oh, the pay?
Hey, the administrative leave pay.
Yeah, so we, and I think the town knows, we had a town employee on it. The board put him on administrative leave with pay temporarily. We've been asked by the bookkeeper as well as at least one department head how to calculate the pay for this purpose. And the board needs to give direction. My recommendation is, and the board, if you guys have another recommendation, would be to take whatever his pay was for each of these positions for the year 2021 and divide by the amount of weeks in the year, come up with a number and pay based on that until further notice.
I agree with that. Is that a motion?
Not yet. Anybody have any other ideas?
Nope. I recommended that idea, and we actually received the paperwork. It's in an email,
The
what the
spreadsheet?
sums come to, because that way there, it's, especially with COVID, the amount of hours worked, I thought it was a fair way to do it. He might have worked more hours, less hours, so there's no, between the employee and the town, it works out the best way,
Yep.
so no one gets shortchanged.
All right. Anybody want to make a motion to that effect?
I'll make a motion that that's how he gets paid, what it came down to, what the average was for the 52 weeks.
Bob?
Yep.
Use that?
Well, you should do it based on, that was, Kim provided that?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Provided by the bookkeeper, you can
Yes.
put in your motion,
Correct.
rather than reading every number, if you wanted.
Yeah, so for the EOC Emergency Management Department, the 52 average was 22.9 hours that he averaged a week. So I recommend that that's what he gets paid.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I think there's two other
There
positions.
was one other one.
The fire department, he's not working in that department now, right? Because they have other people. This is the other one, but I'm
Yeah,
not,
this was the fire department, 4.4 hours
Yep.
for a 52-hour week. So
You want to make that as a
Make a-
motion?
make a motion
Yep.
that he gets paid for that.
Second. Charlie's second.
Seconded by Charlie. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then he wasn't working for the other one, you said, correct?
no, that was the one that I
This
didn't think,
this was one. So
Yeah.
for those two departments, that's what he should get paid,
okay.
and that's what we've approved.
Okay. And, okay, so any other discussion on this topic?
Not this topic, no.
Okay. And the board can obviously revisit this at any time as necessary. But leaving that topic,
I just, sorry.
ahead.
So
Yep.
I'm texting my neighbor who knows about Show New England. Sorry for texting during the meeting, people. Because I feel bad for the kids since this is starting April 1st. So he's saying they will work around the rec schedules. They will promise to pick up and take care of the fields. And porta potty will not be an issue. Unless the board still wants to, I mean, if we can approve it, I can reach out directly to Show New England and see if we can, so again, the season starts 4/1. I know.
Here
I
comes
see
Joe.
I see Joe standing up too, and he's
So
gonna come to the mic.
Who did you get this text message from?
From Anthony Scafidi, he's been texting you, emailing you. He's with Sanborn. And he also,
Oh, he didn't even, okay, what's his name again?
Anthony Scafidi,
Okay.
sorry for putting his name on the open.
Now he's everybody's neighbor.
Yeah, congrats.
I thought, we don't have an issue with the Sanborn.
No, this is, I know, but so his son plays for Show New England, that's how they found out about Newton.
Oh, okay. Once again, I still think we need them in here because we're opening up ourselves to a lot of liability.
Okay.
If nobody else wants them and they're over here, there's got to be something behind the scene.
I just want to get this done.
I think it's up to the board to do their due diligence on it and not leave it up to the administrative department. The board has to do it, make that decision.
So can he, and we can do other agenda items while you ask this question, but are they really starting 4/1 for Show New England? Because that's
Is he
the
on
reason. Yeah, because typically you're still cleaning things up at that time, so. But while Edvin's reaching out, I just wanted to touch upon a couple of things, try to get the board's support on. One is, the lifeguards were voted in by the people we've already posted for lifeguards. The last 2 years, we've had a lifeguard manager, I guess you'd say, supervisor. That gentleman, Scott Dole, who's with the fire department, did an excellent job. He's given us notice that he's not going to be able to do that this year. There is, I believe it's a stipend. So if the board's supportive of it, what we'd like to do is post for that internally first within the town, all the departments, to see if we could get somebody qualified to do that. Is the board okay in concept with that? Just don't want to surprise anybody.
I'm okay with it.
No, I'm
Great
good with
program.
that.
Okay, and second part, kind of related, and this is the more controversial, is our rec commission does a great job, but the average age, and they told me I could say this, the average age of the rec commission volunteers is 65 years old. So what happens is when it comes to the raft, when it comes to all the ropes and all the town beach stuff, they have tried to support that as much as they can, but we really need to put out a really hard line post to get more people on the rec commission who can oversee the beach. And my thing is, if we don't, typically what happens is people say, yeah, I'll help you out, and then they don't show up for the meetings, take the oath, get on our insurance, all that good stuff. And I think we need to take more of a hard line. If we don't get those people, we run the risk of not being able to have the raft in the water because, like I said, these folks, they do a good job, they try, but they don't use the beach, they don't typically use the raft, anything like that. They just try to step up, but they're pleading for members of the community to step up and help out. And I'm hoping the board's in favor of us taking a little more of a hard line. In other words, if we don't get the volunteers, we consider maybe not putting the raft out this year. What's the board think?
Well, if you don't get the volunteers, you can't put it out.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
well, somehow, and Mike can back me up on this, somehow we end up getting it out there somehow. People stepping up who really go out of their way. We really need, in years past, we've had members of the Rec Commission who use the beach all the time, are very conscious of what's going on there, and they've served on the Rec Commission and they've been valuable. We need those people again, and I'm hoping they're out there. So, Joe, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I have a radical idea that'll really get people's attention. Close the beach. It'll definitely get people's attention.
I wasn't going to take that hard of a line, but you're thinking like I'm thinking. That'll get people out. Yeah. So, I just want to make sure the board is not surprised when we put out an ad saying, you want these things, we need volunteers, I think is what it comes down to.
I got no problem with that.
Okay.
perfect.
Okay.
Back to the baseball thing real quick.
Back to the show.
Because this is the most important topic in town. So Mr. Scafidi will be coming to the meeting on 4/5 to represent Show New England, and he will have all the information that we have requested for him. They are okay with waiting till 4/5. They can move their season if the board is willing to have them say what they have to say. No, Joe?
All right, sounds good.
All right.
Sounds good.
They can talk, right?
Thank you.
I mean, give
Are-
people a chance.
Are we on to the veterans tax credit? I think that's
Yep,
In the manifest.
in the manifest.
veterans tax credit, yep.
1 second, let me find it. Motion to sign the Veterans Tax Credit for tax map 14-1-5-1, beginning tax year 2022.
Second.
All right, discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion to sign appointment for Paula Noon as a Gale Library trustee, term to expire March 31st, 2023.
Second.
Seconded by Charlie. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous.
Motion to sign appointment for Rick Falconer and Margaret Connors as a member of the Recreation Commission, term to expire April 30th, 2025.
Are you marrying them two together?
Rick Falconer and Margaret Connors.
Huh? Yeah, are you marrying the two?
Yeah,
Oh, they're not separately?
on the same, right?
One motion.
Yeah, they're okay on one motion, you
Yeah.
just have two appointments to sign.
Yeah, two different appointments, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to clarify.
Okay, so were you the second, Charlie?
No.
No? Who's the second?
Second.
Second, Bob. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, 3 and 1. Do you want to keep going?
Motion to sign appointment for Vanessa
Can I-
Burrell.
Can I ask why you're opposing? Oh, which one are you opposing?
What difference does it make? I opposed them both.
Okay.
Motion to sign appointment for Vanessa Burrell and William Harding as members of the Recreation Commission, term to expire April 30th, 2024.
Second.
Seconded by Bob. Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm going to vote in favor. I think I can do that, so.
Motion to sign appointment for Ann Banks and Betty Buffano as alternate Gale Library trustees, term to expire March 31st, 2023.
Second.
Charlie was the second?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
And.
Motion to sign appointment for Tricia McCarthy as a member of the Conservation Commission, term to expire April 30th, 2025.
Second.
Seconded by Charlie. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Any other business? So we have the approval of the minutes. We
So
did
March-
the-
yeah,
we
March
had-
7th, you only have public.
Yeah, for the, we had a library resignation that's in the folder from the the previously scheduled meeting. Did we already accept that one? Gale Library Trustee resignation.
Yeah, maybe not.
I don't think we did. We didn't do any business.
So I'm going to, why don't I do this one if I can find it again?
The Gale Library one, wasn't that done like the last
It
meeting
sounds-
before the?
Sounds familiar.
It was
Yeah.
done before the election, the last full meeting before the election, I believe. When I was sitting out there, I heard it.
Oh,
The
so then you
woman
did do it.
put the letter in and you guys accepted it.
Yeah,
and
you'll let
sent
us
out
know
a-
if you can't find that,
Yeah.
right?
I'd be willing to bet dollars to donuts.
Yeah,
It's already been done.
sounds familiar, but, you know, it's a resignation, so we can pick it up next time.
I think you did do that one at the last
Yeah.
meeting.
So we're going to move on to approval of minutes. So does anybody want to motion to approve just the public meeting minutes from March 7th, 2022? That's all.
Motion to approve Selectmen's public meeting minutes dated March 7, 2022.
Anybody want a second?
Second.
Seconded by Bob. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So 3 and 1. So this is public and non-public?
Yep. Motion to, you have to do two separate?
Yes. Yeah.
Motion
Well,
to-
actually, together, we
They
can
can
do.
go together.
Yeah, yeah.
Motion to approve Selectmen's non-public and public meeting minutes dated March 15th, 2022.
Second.
Seconded by Bob. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, 3 and 1. All right, anything else for the meeting tonight?
I think that's about it.
Any announcements? No? All right, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
So moved. Any second?
Second.
All right, thank you all and have a good evening. We're back April 5th, right?
Yep.
Is the next one?
I know it's
Thanks.
late because you already closed the meeting.
We did, yeah.